What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about XDC mainnet token, mainnet coin, XDC mainnet. We're talking about it today using the XDC USDT chart on KuCoin. My last video that I made, I forget when it was. Maybe it was a few days ago, maybe it was about a week ago, I forget. But I was saying that I do think we're going to go lower. We were definitely higher than where we are now, right? And I do think that we're going to go lower than these lows here. I've been saying since back here that we were going to go lower. To be fair, I've been saying since back here, so I missed this whole last end of the pump. But to be fair, most cryptos did kind of take a turn for the worse back here. XDC just went on a run all on its own, so that does happen. You know, there's always that one or two or three coins that does that while everything's going down. It just steals the spotlight, but you know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall sometimes. And I do think ultimately, you know, ever since wherever you want to say it, I have been projecting for lower prices than what we have now. I'm thinking that we're going to go somewhere around 4.6 to like 4 cents, something like that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 4.6 is the 618, 4.6 and a half. But let's say 4.6, yeah, 4.65. We'll call it 4.65. Somewhere around these lows, if not potentially around this high here, around like 4.2 cents, 4.3 cents, something like that. I wonder if we take this high to low here, yeah, that 50% line lines up very well with this area of resistance. Taking a previous price range and then finding the halfway point, sometimes you find significance on it. So that could illuminate the idea that we do go a little bit past the 0.69 here, somewhere closer to about 4.2 cents. We might even go lower. XDC mainnet, you guys, it can go lower and still look fine. I think, you know, I want to be clear, I do think that it goes lower, but I think that it has great things in store for it in the coming bull market. The 786 is all the way down here at about 3.8 cents, and the 886 is down there at about 3.4 cents. You do have a 1272 to a 1618 extension, anywhere from about 2.2 to 1.1.5 cents, something like that. I don't know if we get down there. I'm personally skeptical that we would. I do think that we're in the midst of forming another higher low, but if we're looking at the trajectory we have here, from low to low there, hitting this 618 to 69 area, that doesn't even bring us close to this line, and that's fine. We don't have to touch this line. We really don't. You could have something where you come down into this range, bounce off it, and then you go. Or maybe you bounce off it, you linger for a little bit, whatever, and then you finally come back, and like over time, you don't hit this line directly, but you hit it over time, because over time it does increase, and then you turn up, you know, something like that. Maybe you're rather stagnant, a little bit of a bearish tilt for now, but then some stagnation for the months to come, and then sometime next year you can look at pumping back up, potentially getting ready to go above these highs. Maybe you'll bounce off of this and still linger, you know, for a while, and then have a run up. Who knows? But I don't think it's going to look anything like, if I had to bet what it's going to look like, I would say not that exactly, but that's just a rough idea. You know, to me, the idea that we would bounce off of this range right now and then resume this uptrend and go to new highs, I don't know if I believe that as much. If we do, this structure starts to look a little bit parabolic, which is very bullish, but that's, I don't know. I don't know. It would make more sense to me to come a little bit lower. And the 786 here is right at about 3.8 cents. Again, if we don't hit that area, then what I would, and we find support on this area. If we don't hit that area, we find support on this area, I would expect that we remain kind of stagnant until we find a bounce off of this line somewhere down the line. Somewhere at the end of this year, if not potentially into next year. But one way or another, you guys, I do think that it goes lower. I think it goes lower from here. I feel comfortable saying 4.64 cents to about, what was it? To about 3.8, 4.64 to about 3.8 cents, somewhere in there. Is where I think we're going. That could leave it open to anything from a, let's see, 4.45, whatever, sure, 4.4, 13% to a 25% drop from the current price. I don't know if it's going to move in a straight line. I do think we have a kind of like flat base here at the moment with descending highs coming into it, so I do think you're going to get an initial pop that might be a little bit more dramatic than any of these days in this range, other than this upside. I don't think it's going to be a bigger day than this day here. to the downside, but bigger than every other day besides this day within this range here. I do think you're going to see some kind of initial move down. Could it be today? Could it be tomorrow? Could it be sometime next week? Absolutely. Might it take longer than that? Sure, we could move. We can mess around in this for another week or so, maybe. But I do think we're getting ready to move lower. I definitely do. Volume's dying off. Whenever you're in a consolidation range, volume kind of dies off, and then when it builds back up, that's when you break out of your consolidation range. So likely, I would say the likelihood is we break down, but there is the chance that you could break up as well. I just think it's a weird place to find a low, personally, and you're doing it in a weird way. You're like hugging it. It just doesn't. It wouldn't make sense to me. So that's all I got for you guys. I do, it's been a little bit since I've talked about it. I forget how long ago my last video was. I know it was within the week, but I like to check in on this thing regularly. If I had to look at the 4-hour to give it a more in-depth look, I would say the 4-hour looks bearish. You're getting into this oversold territory, so you really might start to see a bigger move come in today. Maybe not a bigger move. I shouldn't say that. But a move that takes you out of this range, starts taking you lower than that low there, and maybe that would promote a bigger move, something that would be like, from the current price, something that'd be like 8%, 9%, which really still isn't even that big for a crypto like this. I mean, you moved 24% in one day over here, so 9% isn't saying much, but bigger than these relative days is all I'm talking about. Double rejection off of the 50, a double top in itself, but also off of the 50, not a good sign. You are in the bearish area of control on the daily. You're just fresh in there. Things are probably just getting started. On the 4-hour, you're getting into that oversold zone. The best hope that you'd have right now is that you bounce off this, but I think that that's just going to it's going to put off the inevitable, which is going to be a move that takes you into this oversold zone, if not now, sometime later, which would ultimately lead again to lower prices, lower than this little bottoming range that you have right now. So that's all I got for you guys. Somewhere about 4.65 to 3.8 cents. Probably, if I had to guess, I would want to say probably closer to that 4.65. I really do like the idea of hitting that 618 to 69 area, moving sideways for a little bit and then coming up. I like that more than just thinking of it going straight down to 3.8, but anything's possible. There is support, on both kind of references here. This 4.2 area is right around where this resistance zone was, right in the middle of this previous price range, and then the 3.8 area is right at this daily closing high of this same kind of area here, right? 3.8-ish support area here, support area there, resistance area there. So that line in itself, this kind of area is significant as well. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. I will see you on the next one. Appreciate all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.